The flashback feature, now this has been something that's been a little bit contentious on the Codemasters forum, and the flashback feature is basically, imagine you're going down the main straight and then you bury it into the wall at turn 1. You'll effectively be able to hit the rewind button and do that corner again.
So if I'm starting off at Monaco and I'm flying down the straight and then I'm going into the right-hander,
yeah,
and I completely screw that up,
yeah, you'll be able to rewind back to the start of the straight and do it again.
I'm going to be like Back to the Future. I can just rewind a little bit.
Yeah, one of the bullet points later on says that they will have experience points and things, so that if you do that too often, or if you do that too much, then you will be penalised. And look, this is a very arcade thing to do, to be able to rewind the race. Yeah. But as I was saying to Max earlier off camera, if you want to practice a corner over and over and over again because you keep stuffing it up like I often do, or you're in a very intense race and you make a mistake, then at least the ability is there to do it. Now, you or I may not do it, but there's going to be some gamers out there who would actually like that feature of rewinding their Grand Prix. Max, what do you think?
Yeah, I want to be able to, if I'm punted off the track by someone and I have irrevocable damage to my car, I want to be able to, at the end of the race, when the guy that hit me, when he finishes the race, I want to be able to go into his garage with my helmet in my hand and smack him over the head. That's what I want, and we'll chat to Codemasters to see if they've got a violent switch in their game, or at least if they can release it next year. We'll see.
Alright Max, every steering will be fully supported. Yes. I expect that, of course.
Excellent.
That's great. Slipstreaming, dirty air and aero is going to be a big part of the handling dynamics of the game. So
as it should be.
If you get into the dirty air, you're going to have your handling compromised. You will be able to slipstream if you're in a long straight. Very, very important to have that in the game. I'm stoked that Codemasters have included that. It's a good feature, mate.
It is. It's a great feature. So if your name's Vitaly Petrov, you can follow a car in front of you, and when the car's trying to do this up the straight, you can still follow them. So I think that's a great thing.
Alright mate, the AI will challenge you, and each driver will have a unique driving style according to their real life counterpart. Now I was reading a comment that, for example, Felipe Massa's done very well at Turkey, so if you choose Felipe at Turkey, you'll be probably better than your teammate. So they're trying to match the AI of each driver to their performance or their stats so far.
Which I think is an amazing thing, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Certain drivers are better at certain circuits than others, and you get to carry that in with you. I mean, of course, you're going to be driving as that person. It's up to you whether or not you're going to be as good as them, or at least up there with them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very interesting thing with this F1 2010 game. It's taking into consideration the driver's style at a certain track. I think it's amazing.
Remind me, Max, if I'm ever racing in Brazil, not to choose Rubens Barrichello as my teammate, as my driver.
That's right, because he's won how many times there? That's right. Sorry, Ruben. Sorry, Ruben.
All right, mate. We're going to have oversteer. We're going to have understeer. We're going to have wheel spin. It's going to happen in the game accordingly. And they mention here that previous F1 games have had too much understeer. Yeah. And this goes back to the full handling dynamics that these guys are incorporating, making it much more a sim experience, much more like driving an F1 car. You will have oversteer and understeer and things like that depending on your setup.
Yep.
And they're right. Even in the best sim games that you have today, a lot of these things are unincorporated. So that's a really good feature.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
No parade lap, we've talked about that. No parc fermé. What does that mean? You can't just pull into parc fermé and
then run over to your team and sort of do this if you set pedal.
So the race finishes,
launch into the crowd and do that sort of thing. No.
The race finishes and then you can't just drive into parc fermé. Not a deal breaker for me, mate. Yeah. Driver assists. Okay, we talked about this earlier. You can put assists on for driving line, automatic and manual, steering and braking assists. For those who are new to F1 games, it's very important.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there as a full sim racer and you're thinking, oh, that's unnecessary. Well, what about someone who's never actually seen the circuit before? they need to know where to brake and where the corners are and things. You or I would know it's a left-hand turn and I need to brake at the 100 zone and 100 mark and things like that. But a lot of people don't know that, so I think that's a good feature.
Oh, look, I think they had to include it, mate, because again, as we were getting on about earlier, not everyone's a full-on Formula One fan like the rest of us are, and we want to attract new people to the sport. Yeah. And if you're going to make the Formula One game too hard for people, they're not going to pick it up. So yeah, look, I think that's fine. I think they had to do that too.
Yeah,
it's great.
Don't forget the noobs. There's always noobs out there.
Love the noobs. You were all once a noob.
Everyone was a noob once. Okay, you can skip to certain sectors of the track. Now, I think this is a great feature because I always find with most circuits that there's certain corners or certain sectors, mate, that I completely stuff up, and
that you shit at.
Absolutely, and I need practice on them. So you know, it might be turn 1 at Monaco, it might be the last turn at Barcelona, whatever. I need help, and I can just constantly do that over and over again. And
might be turn 1 at Melbourne.
Yeah, I can hone my skills, Max, and that's good. You know, I think this will be in the in the testing. If you're in the testing mode, then you'll be able to do that, and that's a good feature. Yeah. Button mapping. Oh yeah, change all your controls. So all the buttons on your steering wheel or on your controller, you'll be able to map to certain things. We talked about it earlier. It's great. You're going down the straight. You want to change the brake bias a little bit more on the front. I want to stall my rear wing, Max. Whatever.
You love it.
I can't do that from the steering wheel, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
It's a good feature, mate.
It's great. I think it's going to be good.
Alright, let's talk a little bit about the modes. The first mode is the career mode, and you'll be able to play 3, 5 or 7 seasons.
God, how long would it take to play 7 seasons?
7 seasons, 100% race distance. Can you imagine it? You know, I don't know, 18, 20 races per season, whatever it is, and just run 7 seasons.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be like GT5. GT4 when it came out, and everyone was like, yeah, I'm going to do a full season, I'm going to do it every race, blah 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 blah. And I know people that didn't, it took them an age. The great thing is with Codes, with F1 2010, 7 seasons.
Yep, exactly. And the idea, of course, is that you start off with slower cars such as Hispania or Virgin or whatever, and you work your way up through as your driving improves. As your performance improves, you get into better teams and you make your way up, and then hopefully win the World Championship.
So I should finish like the full 7 seasons within like, I don't know, a week and a half.
Well, I'm going to take all of October off just to get that happening.
It'd take me a year to do it. Cool.
Okay, so yeah, you play as a rookie driver and you make your settings and your changes throughout the season. Also in career mode, Max, there's this paddock area where you'll be able to navigate around the paddock.
Yes.
You'll be able to adjust your car setup and strategy. You'll be able to sit in the car and watch the screens and then be interviewed in the paddock, answer questions, same with the press conference, answer questions. But you need to choose your answers wisely because that will affect your career. So if you rubbish your teammate, rubbish your team or whatever, then you know, maybe your career might stall a little bit. And this is something new. Again, this is something that Codemasters has brought new to the Formula One game franchises, and that is to have a full career mode where you're actually able to strut around the paddock, Max, and really, what do they say? It's you know, be the driver, live the life.
Be the driver, live the life. What I want to know is if I'm in the paddock, can I get a hot dog and a Coke? Alright, that's one of the big things for me.
And a VB.
And a VB. Can I get a hot dog, a Coke and a VB? Alright, if I can't get all those 3, I'm not driving that circuit anymore. Look, I think that's a great idea. It's very interesting because the answers to the questions that are posed to you by the reporter can actually dictate to how your opponents on the circuit are going to react to you.
Yes.
Which I think is a fantastic...
And whether a team might sign you up. If they think you're a bit of a bastard, maybe they won't sign you up. Or
if they think you're a tool, they might think, yeah, no way. But I think it's great that the answers to the questions that are going to be posed to you can actually dictate your future course. And I think that's a wonderful idea. I would never have thought of that sort of thing.
Yeah.